Those are some nicely made lines. No, nothing. There's nothing, I swear. Just... That's it. It was, it broke. It broke. It broke. That's all. I was just checking the, water heater. Something. Just... Don't worry, it's all off. Nothing. Don't worry. Just, okay? Just stop worrying. Okay? Fuck. Okay? I don't even... Like sitting there, thinking about like all these important things that I had to say, and as you're playing the guitar in that mind frame, you start to go, man, the actuality is maybe it's a language in opposition to music standpoint, and the language does need somewhere to go, and if it can go somewhere into the musical realm, that would be some shit to see if that works, and that's what happens. And given that content there, it looks like the words went to music, and it was like, man, you probably could say all that in way shorter sentences, and that's why the minimalism of the guitar solo occurs at that point, is because it's like, yeah, okay, brain, going through this process, I can see what you're saying. It really sounds like you could say all that in a lot less sentences. And that's all. That's all. And plus, I've been drinking and smoking crack all day, so whatever. Who gives a fucking shit? But that's the reality there. That's I think with a lot of like funk music, whatever, especially in that realm, is that sometimes the best thing you could possibly do is to just be an insane person and just go brr, 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 and I can't do it. But what I'm saying is sometimes I go like whatever here. Sometimes I think it's best to just do a lot, like just kind of naturally let yourself be like, I'm just gonna go insane right now and do as much as I can. So just an example, but then you just go, okay, now that I've done all that crazy shit, I could start to take away things from this until it sounds right. Because no one wants to listen to the craziest person ever play music and do the most insane, crazy, complicated, technical shit. Most forms, people don't want to see that musically. So, let's do that again now. Granted, I don't ever record it, but I'll just do the same scale. And you see how you start to form a strut, as opposed to when you're just going as fast as you can, you're at full sprint. So when you start combining it into like style and how you're playing style wise, it's like that motherfucker's on a full sprint. That guy just looks like a motherfucker on full sprint, but when you turn it down to a strut, you go, okay, that guy's walking a certain way. That's the strut. Here comes a sprint. I mean, you hear the difference because what I just did there was the exact same thing. A very shitty job at it. I've been, once again, I'm fucking in an incubator filled with crack smoke that's being hotboxed, so of course I'm fucking high non-stop, and yeah, I've been drinking a bunch of beer, and I had some vodka earlier today. I just was hanging around today, and there was a man with a mohawk with sunglasses on, driving around in an SUV screaming at me out of his car window, and it made me say to myself, you know what, I should probably have some vodka today, too. And so I did, and now here we are, right now, after doing a bunch of fucking crack, because, yeah, I smoke a lot of fucking crack. But whatever, I just feel like sometimes what you should do, because I know a lot of musicians like to sometimes, especially when you're like really hard and young and hyped and amped and shit, and it's like you just want to like hype it up and go as hard as you can and just be like super hype. And that's okay. My idea there is like, yeah, be as hype as you can, then listen to it again and then say to yourself, yeah, because when you're hyped like that, you're gonna be nailing all the notes. You're gonna be nailing all the notes and shit. So you can look at it again later and be like, okay, what if I turn the speed down? And what if I now start taking things out of this? Because I already maxed out. And what if I start now taking things away? And put it in a time measurement, or not a time measure, but a beat measure. Turn that down too, and just be like, obviously not all those notes are gonna sound good when you turn it way down beat measure wise, but that's when you start to go, what if I start, because I maximized my shit, I just played my fucking hardest and you really threw it all in there. So now you go, I threw it all in there, so of course it sounds good, but because I put it all there, and okay, this is going to sound better if I now start subtracting things instead. And then listen to it after you minimalized all of it, and then go, are there a couple things I could hit here and there, like a just or fucking whatever, you know what I'm saying, obviously, at this point. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, is there a couple things you could throw in? Maybe some fills or some shit? At that point, that's what you can do, and you've subtracted so much that you don't have to be like I think a lot of like really hypertensive metal music can be the same way, where it's like, man, you put everything into that, you know it's probably not necessary for a song, you know you probably don't have to do this every song, you also know that start taking things away, and now you're not focusing on form and technique and just blasting through everything, and now you're focusing on more of a form and fills and that type of technicality, and that's kind of how I see everything. So once again, I come from a basic background, and I'm glad I didn't go anywhere else, because dude, I'm just straight up legitimate funk, and I like the rock music. I like, what year was it, like 1998, 99, until about 2005, when that form of rock music was like, I'm sick of myself and I'm stained, I'm killing myself, and he killed himself, or whatever, musically, the music world, you know what I'm saying, which was just how the music starts, and it turns into another thing, like always, but that very late 90s into, like, the early mids of the 2000s, so 2004 or something, yeah, he finally killed himself, and let's give him a round of applause and be proud of that, because he was really not feeling good. According to his music, he did not feel good, and he is in a better place now. I can tell you that much. But whatever, I like to maximize and subtract. I don't really fully maximize because I didn't develop some of the, especially some of the extreme technique. I don't really listen to jazz. I like it, but I don't like playing it. It bores me. I don't like playing, like, I don't even like the heaviest music in the world anymore, and to be honest, yeah, I grew up on, like heavy rock, and I think Ozzy Osbourne was, like, probably the most important theatrical rock musician that's ever existed. The way he went through his whole career, the way he did, you have to research that yourself and shit. But, I mean, and he's still extremely relevant, and that was such a good idea. That was just so awesome. And I thought Pantera, because I listened to a lot of metal and shit, and got bored with it, and Pantera's the only one that I still sit there and go, I'm gonna put this in and we're gonna listen to this. I don't give a shit about the rest of it, like, and that I don't even think was one of the popular ones, so fuck it, whatever. And I could just trail off and shit. What am I doing? Go fuck yourself.